Yeah, so speaking of automation, now we're getting into the technology aspect, right? We talked about the fulfillment operation, automating the picking process within the warehouse, the transportation logistics side. So that's kind of the side that's really probably most visible to the customer, but there's still a lot of way to go on the automation on the planning side. And especially if we're talking about expanding categories, improving the the diversity of the offering, and being able to efficiently plan to make sure that the items are there in stock for the automated pickers to pick them up. It does require a digital backbone. It does require a platform that can enable autonomous decision making for all these thousands of SKUs. They'll be expanding to trying to do things manually, doing manual forecasting, manual replenishment planning, inventory optimization. Having to join information from different sources is not going to work when it comes to scaling fast. And also, as you mentioned, now it's not just they're not in this game on their own. There is a whole ecosystem, and that's digital collaboration across the ecosystem, whether they're partnering with grocery stores, whether they're partnering with suppliers, logistics, providers. All of that really need to work on a platform that enables that smooth information flow and decision making and visibility across the whole ecosystem.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
And
also, sorry.
No, go ahead, Asena.
And then, you were also talking about private labels and expanding the product portfolio, and also that's interesting. Growth opportunity for sure, but also again it turns into a yet more complex planning problem, because now when you're doing private labels, you also have to concern yourselves with all production aspect, right? The planning, the capacity, introduction, managing the life cycle of the introduction of a new platform, of a new product. So now the platforms that you initially think, okay, well, this is ultimately a retail company, so they need retail planning. But now once they start going into private labels, then there's going to be that the need for vertical integration, because again, ultimately what they'll need to do is do this fast, right? Faster than other, traditional retailers, do this more efficiently. And obviously to survive, they need to find a way to do it profitably. So yeah, the technology is going to look a lot more, I think, complex and multidimensional and collaborative and inclusive, and it's not going to be something that can be managed with a series of Excel sheets and macros.
Oh, I agree. And for some background for all of you who are listening, who are attending this webinar, and who will eventually watch it at a later date. The reason why I'm on here is I've been following Solvoyo for about 10 years now. And on LinkedIn, on my own, I keep getting asked questions about what's the best planning software, what's the best software for transportation management, what's the best supply chain software. And I would always say, I only recommend one company, Solvoyo. I don't work for Solvoyo. I'm not paid by Solvoyo. I'm not on the board of Solvoyo, nothing. I just simply have a background with SAP and Oracle and Manugistics and I2, all of the leading systems out there, Microsoft products and so forth. And the thing that I started to write about when I started to write about rapid grocery delivery, quick commerce, is pointing out how unbelievably complex this business is. So let's take everything you said, Asena, and now let's add on top of it dark kitchens, the fact that I've recommended to the industry that the way for this industry to grow is not only to offer rapid grocery delivery, rapid retail delivery, but also incorporating food delivery with it. So basically having these larger dark stores, but inside it is the ability to have automated pizza making and things like that. Well, now you have planning for more perishable product, planning for ambient temperature product, planning for being able to get groceries to the customer, but now you're going to start adding maybe food delivery to it as well.
Yeah, and production.
You cannot do that with the traditional systems out there. And so I really was offering Solvoyo as a resource to the industry And to the credit of the industry, many of them reached out to me and they said, wow, we hadn't really thought of this. Or what they like to say is, but Brittain, we build our own system. So let me make this as clear as I can. There is not a single rapid grocery delivery company out there, zero. There's not a single quick commerce company out there, zero, who has a system they created that can come close to what Solvoyo does. I'm a former Amazon executive. I went through this at Amazon where we had to build everything and it was sometimes a disaster. So my advice to any of the companies out there that are listening to this in the industry or want to get into the industry, or if you're a grocery retailer, rethink any idea that you want to be building these systems and at least take the effort to speak with Solvoyo and learn what they're doing. I'm not trying to sell you on Solvoyo. I'm trying to give you some really good advice that you don't want to go down a path that may not be worth it. So that's why I'm on here as well. That's why we're talking about Solvoyo, because the supply chain is really critical for rapid grocery delivery for quick commerce.
Well, thank you so much. It's thanks to the likes of Brittain, all of a sudden supply chain became sexy. And when you when you put it in the context of quick Q-commerce, really making that both speed and availability promise, there has to be a very robust and agile and smart kitchen in the background. And that's what we call logistics, or what we call supply chain. So thanks for that.